From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, October 16th, 2015. Silver is trading at $16.06 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,181 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $262. Antiwar.com reports the White House made clear on Wednesday that they oppose any independent investigation of the recent U.S. attack on a Doctors Without Borders hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan, and the Pentagon seems to be doubling down, ensuring that there's not much evidence left for an independent investigator when they get there. Doctors Without Borders on Thursday reported that they were informed that the U.S. smashed into the wreckage of the hospital with a tank, forcing their way in and destroying potential evidence that would be used in a war crimes investigation. U.S. officials claimed that the tank was carrying investigators from the official military inquiry into the matter, though they likely could have gotten into the hospital closed after the attack without using a tank if they had simply asked Doctors Without Borders to let them in. The latest incident emerged amid reports that the Pentagon not only knew the facility was a protected hospital when they ordered it attacked, but that military analysts are continuing to argue that the attack was justified based on speculation a Pakistani spy may have been within the hospital. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports former House Speaker Dennis Hastert will plead guilty to accusations of paying $3.5 million to conceal prior sexual misconduct. U.S. District Judge Thomas Durkin on Thursday set Hastert's guilty plea for October 28th with a written plea agreement to be submitted to Durkin by Monday. An indictment released in May says Hastert paid an anonymous person identified as Individual A $3.5 million to silence illicit activities that Hastert engaged in when he was a high school teacher and wrestling coach between 1965 and 1981 in Yorkville, Illinois. The indictment does not explicitly state what Hastert did. Rather, federal law enforcement officials told the Chicago Tribune that Hastert paid to hide the fact that he sexually abused a Yorkville high school student. In June, Hastert pled not guilty to refusing to report his monetary transactions and to feeding lies to the FBI. The current indictment also says he mapped out bank withdrawals in order to avoid raising red flags and lied about the transactions to the FBI. The withdrawals reportedly began in 2010 and were laid out in increments of $100,000 and $50,000. Hastert later decreased the withdrawals to less than $10,000 each to allegedly avoid reporting the money. Both the FBI and the IRS were involved in the investigation beginning in 2013. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports California Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom on Thursday unveiled a ballot initiative aimed at strengthening the state's gun control laws by banning possession of large-capacity magazines and requiring background checks for ammunition purchases. Newsom hopes to put the initiative before voters in the November 2016 election. Speaking in downtown San Francisco at the site of a shooting that killed 8 people in 1993, Newsom said elements of the measure, some of which were unable to pass via the legislative process, would be strongly supported by California voters. The initiative would also require gun owners to report lost or stolen guns to law enforcement and improve data sharing between the state and federal government's criminal background check databases. It would also set up a process to relinquish guns from convicted felons who are already prohibited from possessing them. To be included on the 2016 ballot, Newsom and his backers would have to gather signatures from 366,000 registered voters who support putting the question on the ballot, a process that could cost $2 million or more, and then raise funds to fend off a likely onslaught of opposition from gun rights advocates. In a statement, NRA spokeswoman Amy Hunter said Newsom's initiative was an attempt to chip away at the rights of gun owners and would do nothing to improve public safety. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.